Welcome one and all to the Culture of Currency, the channel devoted to showing you that anyone can collect silver, though this might not be the most financially responsible time to do so, with silver being as high as it is. Regardless, the rules are simple. Here, we spend around $100 a month on silver, and basically, that's it. Obviously, there are some dollars I use for storage, such as capsules or cases, to store the coins, but basically, it's just $100 and that's it. Now that I've reminded you about this channel, know that I would also love if you subscribe so that you can be notified each time I unbox, rate, review, or just rant about silver and currency in general. Without further ado, let's get to today's coin rating and review by asking a question that I would love for you to answer in the comments below. Here's the question. Do you collect silver coins? And if you do, how many different countries or styles of coins do you have represented in your collection? The reason I want to know is so that I can hopefully continue to bring content that is to your liking. The coin I bring to you today, I purchased for $25.58 as a random year koala from AppMex. I received a 2017 koala with a rooster privy from AppMex that is currently valued at $35.14. As you can see, that is almost $10 more than what I paid for it, and is a welcome sign in these crazy times where silver is so high. As many of you know, this is not my first Australian coin, so we can actually use a direct comparison against other coins from the Perth Mint of Australia to see who wins the battle from down under. Currently, we have rated the 2020 Kookaburra that scored a 51 out of 60, the Lunar Dog from Australia which scored a 29 out of 60, and we have the Kangaroo that scored a 43 out of 60. So 51 currently is the number to beat for the Australian coins that we've rated. However, I have not rated the Year of the Pig, but I don't think it would be as high as the Kookaburra anyway. I've talked a little bit about Australia in those other videos, so I will spare you some of the culture and get into the koala itself. We need to start off by noting that the koala bear is actually not a bear. It's a marsupial, meaning that the young are housed in a pouch, much like kangaroos and wombats. The koala is a herbivore, which means they eat plants. In the case of koala, this means leaves of trees mostly. In fact, the leaf of the eucalyptus tree seems to be their go-to meal. And the eucalyptus tree makes a beautiful furniture if you ever happen to come in contact with eucalyptus wood. It has a very interesting grain pattern. Just a fun fact. The koala's habitat is located mostly on the east side of the Australian coast. The life of the koala is much like many of us Americans during COVID, living sedentary, antisocial lifestyles and sleeping about 20 hours or so a day. The koala who live in trees do not have many natural predators, but were once hunted by aboriginals as well as settlers for their fur. Cars and loose dogs tally many of the casualties today, as do pythons and the wedge-tailed hawk, which also has a beautifully minted coin out of Perth Mint. They are currently under a vulnerable classification, mostly due to the aforementioned reasons, as well as a little bit of deforestation, and they happen to have quite a bit that are lost in bacterial and viral infections. Australia has created some sanctuaries and nonprofits to help the koala bounce back, and though the bacterial and viral diseases are still fairly widespread on mainland populations, we do see those numbers stabilizing. Now that you know about the koala, let's go ahead and review this coin and put it to our 60-point scale. If you watched my last video over the royal pain of bullion coins, you will know exactly where I'm going with this rating. If you have not, I recommend you go back and watch that video. When we look at the front of this coin, we have to drink coffee so we do not fall asleep of boredom. We have a very generic queen face coin. She's facing right just like all the other queen face coins and has a frosted background. The rim is basic and the front is boring. I score this a 4 because it is even more boring than the average queen face coin. On the back, we pick up a little bit of steam. I've come to learn that the majority of Perth Mint coins are purchased, aesthetically speaking, for what's on the back. This is no exception. We have the humble koala at the base of what I assume to be a eucalyptus tree. There are some awesome details both in the koala and also the foliage. In the background, we see a horizon line and what looks to be the ridge of some rocky formation. We also have the beautifully done rooster and what looks to be the moon, which would make sense seeing as it is a lunar year privy. If you have any questions about the lunar cycle and the animals, I recommend you watch my video on the lunar rat of England, where I go over all of the different animals and the history and lore and all of that. This is well done in all aspects, and I think the bag deserves a 9 out of 10. Mintage is our next category. This is where things get interesting. The mintage for the koala in 2017 was 300,000, but this is no ordinary koala. This is a rooster privy koala, and there were only 25,000 minted of this particular coin, which means it scores a respectable 8 out of 10. Now we come to cultural significance. This is a coin that hosts a koala, of course. There is not another place on Earth other than Australia that comes to mind when I see a koala, so this is a staple of their culture and heritage, and even have some tribal legends that are interesting and go back well over 1,000 years, so it's an obvious 10 here. When we think about collectibility, I find that this is a coin that is more collectible than many other coins for many reasons. One, that this is a coin from the Perth Mint, and we all know that that is one of the finest mints out there. Another reason is that the koala is identifiable and something that many people find is a desirable animal. I do not see anywhere near the desire of a silver slug coin or a silver crow coin, to give you an example. Are there more desirable coins out there? Yes. Is this at the top level of collectible silver coins? In my mind, yeah. I think it's probably the second highest from the Perth Mint, behind the Kookaburra, not from a minting standard, but from just a desire standard. So I give it a solid 8. Our last area to grade is uniqueness. There are a couple of koala coins that have been on the market that were not Australian, but the overwhelming majority are from this series, which makes it fairly unique. This particular coin also has a privy that would not be seen again for another 12 years, adding to its rarity. The series is also known to change design every single year, that leads to a higher rating for me of 9 out of 10 for uniqueness. This brings our total score for the koala to 48 out of 60, which is highly respectable and places this coin as number 2 out of my Australian coins. In conclusion, this or any koala coin is highly recommended by me to be a part of your collection. Please take care and remember to subscribe so you can stay classy and current with the culture of currency.